Welcome to our story for today. A powerful tale from the Bible called The Tower of Babel, when pride tried to reach heaven. After the great flood, Noah's family began to grow. His sons had children, and those children had children, until new tribes and nations started to form. The earth, once empty, was slowly filling with people again. And for a time, something amazing happened. Everyone spoke the same language. Can you imagine that? Communication was simple. Unity was strong. People could share their ideas, their hopes, and their dreams without any barriers. As these people traveled together from the east, they found a beautiful, wide-open plain called Shinar. It was the perfect place to settle down, grow food, and build a new life. And there, in that land of opportunity, they came up with a bold, ambitious plan. They said to each other, "Come, let's build a city for ourselves, with a tower that reaches all the way to heaven." On the surface, it might have seemed like a good thing, people working together, creating something magnificent. But deep down, in the hidden corners of their hearts, something toxic was starting to grow. Pride. They weren't building this tower to honor God. They weren't creating a city to worship Him. No, they were building a monument to themselves. Their real motive was clear when they said, "Let us make a name for ourselves, so we will not be scattered across the earth." They craved fame. They wanted power. They wanted to reach heaven on their own terms, without God. They were a world united, but united against their Creator. So the work began. They made strong bricks from clay instead of using natural stone. They used tar as mortar to hold everything together. And the tower started to rise higher and higher and higher. Picture it. Thousands of people, their hands covered in dust and clay, all working together on a project they believed would make them unstoppable. But with every single brick they laid, their hearts drifted further away from God. They put their trust in their own strength, not in divine wisdom. They were chasing their own glory, not God's presence. And all the while, God was watching. The Bible then says something almost humorous. It says, "The Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building." Think about that. As mighty and impressive as these humans thought their tower was, God still had to come down just to get a good look at it. And the Lord said, "Look, they are one people, speaking the same language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do. Now nothing they plan will be impossible for them." This wasn't God feeling threatened. This was God being a loving Father, protecting humanity from destroying itself through pride, rebellion, and self-worship. He knew where this path would lead. So He acted. In an instant, the single language they all shared shattered into many. Imagine the chaos. People tried to speak to each other, but suddenly the words made no sense. A worker would ask for a brick, but the person next to him thought he was asking for water. A builder shouted instructions, but the workers just heard gibberish. Frustration turned into arguments. The teamwork collapsed. Construction ground to a halt. The great project, their symbol of human achievement, fell apart. People started gathering into small groups with others who spoke the same new language. And eventually, they moved away from Shinar, scattering across the face of the earth, just as they had feared. The tower was left unfinished, a silent monument to human pride, silenced by God's wise intervention. The place became known as Babel, a word that means confusion. The story of the Tower of Babel teaches us some incredibly powerful lessons. First, pride always separates us from God. When we try to build our own kingdom instead of His, it will eventually collapse. Second, unity is a good thing, but unity without God can lead to destruction. Finally, it shows us that God will always protect humanity from its own rebellion. True greatness isn't found in trying to climb our way to heaven. It's found in walking humbly with the one who made heaven. Babel wasn't the end of God's story for humanity, but it's a timeless reminder that only God can truly lift us up. Only He can give our lives real meaning. And it's His name, not ours, that is worth building our lives around. So if you ever feel that pressure to prove yourself, to build your own success, your own name, your own greatness, just pause for a moment. Remember Babel. God doesn't want you to struggle and strive to climb up to Him. He wants to walk with you right where you are. Humility brings blessing. Pride brings confusion. Choose God's way today, and He will build something in your life that is beautiful, lasting, and can never be torn down. Thanks for listening. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more.